This episode is based on the chapter 3 of The Unusual Hospitality by Shepherd Loho-U-Ter. From the historical narratives of the children of Tiv, he had only 2 surviving sons. They are called Ipusu and Ichongu. The word Ipusu comes from the word Pusu, which means foreskin. Ipusu was born when Tiv was yet to be circumcised. The foreskin here is the retractable fold of skin encompassing the most nerve-dense tissue in the human male, which naturally covers and protects the head of the penis. Ipusu therefore means uncircumcised. Ipusu could also mean an area of land void of stones. Zugba said such a soil is the soft, fertile kind, suitable for planting all manner of crops. He purported that as a farmer, Tiv might have found a good agrarian land that yielded great harvest at the time he gave birth to the baby boy, and joyfully gave him the name Ipusu, with reference to Ipusu Inya, which means a soft and fertile soil. Ikiga's Sai, on the other hand, said that this first son of Tiv was born on the farm. It is true that farms then yielded a lot of harvest, but the name Ipusu did not necessarily come from Ipusu Inya, which is soft and fertile soil. As Zugba alleged, almost all narratives of the Tiv story say the son of Tiv, called Ipusu, was named so because the man Tiv was not circumcised when the first son was born. Some Tiv historians think that Ichongu is the eldest son of Tiv. This cannot be possible because it is not possible to give birth to Ichongu, which means circumcision, and go later give birth to Ipusu, which means uncircumcised. Ikiga, explaining events that eventually led to the circumcision of Tiv and his children, said that after Tiv's first son was born, a certain Ouke, which translates foreigner, was out hunting elephants and by chance came towards Tiv and his children. It is most likely that Tiv and his child were not properly clothed, and so the Ouke saw that both Tiv and his child were not circumcised. The Ouke asked him how he could beget a child without having been circumcised. Tiv's reply was that he had no idea what was circumcision, but was eager to know and see what it meant. The Ouke showed him, and Tiv was excited and asked to be circumcised. Tiv eventually offered 2 chickens as payment for his circumcision. Another child is born. After the circumcision of Tiv, his wife conceived again and gave birth to another boy. This time, he gave him the name Ichongu, meaning circumcision. Thus, the first child was called Ipusu because Tiv was not circumcised at the time of his birth, while the second child was called Ichongu because the child was begotten after his circumcision. Zugba gives another possibility why the name Ichongu was given to Tiv's second son. That apart from the name Ichongu meaning circumcision, it also means a fox. He maintained that in his hunting, Tiv might have killed several foxes and fed his wife the time she was pregnant. The traditional belief in Tiv land is that when a pregnant woman eats a particular meat from certain animals, the child will be born to possess certain qualities and attributes of the animal. Thus, Tiv's second child was as black as a fox. Therefore, the child was given the name Ichongu because of the child's characteristic coloring. This view is also not very common in the various narratives of the Tiv story. Names are given to children in Tivland following the logic above, but in my opinion, the name Ichongu was given to Tiv's second child because he, Tiv, was circumcised as at the time the child was born. This belief and view is more common in the Tiv narratives as against the name Ichongu to mean a fox. They would rather move. The Tiv people, right from time, were very stern when it had to do with other tribes marrying their daughters. They, however, found no fault in marrying from other tribes. As the children of Tiv grew, Akiga says, they got married from the neighboring bush tribes and had both female and male children by them. When their sons grew to manhood and their daughters reached puberty, the bush people cast their eyes upon those Tiv girls and asked if the Tiv will now give them their daughters in return. But the Tiv refused, and that sparked anger among the bush tribes, and they said, "What?" They cried, "Why are these Tiv becoming so assertive? We used to give them our daughters to marry, thinking of our children who are yet unborn. Why will they not give their daughters to our sons? It is we who have been the fools then." Thus, there was a rift with their neighboring tribes. The Tiv had to abandon their site and move as hostilities from the bush tribes began to increase following the refusal of the Tivs to allow their daughters to marry other tribes. In this present age of civilization, it is still very difficult for Tiv people to allow their daughters to marry anyone who is not of the Tiv tribe. From my discussions with Prince Tile Tiv Dio and my observation from his compilation of the Tiv Genealogy, he traced the Tiv pedigree back to God. He also said Tiv had one son whose name was Akem. I, however, believe from oral history and study of the Tiv culture that Tiv had two sons, and they were Ipusu and Ichongu. The children of Ipusu. Tiv's eldest son, Ipusu, had 4 children. They were Pari, who are also called Parif, Shitili, Ukum, and Tongu, who are also called Tonguv. Parif have 3 children, and they are Akpe, Tombu, and Inyam. Akpe's only child was Ikyo. Though Akpe had only a child, his son Ikyo had so many children. They are Kan or Ukan, Shangiv, Gav, Kunav, Ute, Ningiv, Naniv, Kendiv, Inyev, Mav, Kurav, Usa, and Utangi. God blessed Tombo with Tie and La. Nyam who was one of the 3 sons of Baal, had 9 children, namely Gen, Shoruv, Kusuv, Ipav, Yandiv, Yon, Tiv, Tiav, and Kol. This is the genealogy of Ipusu, the eldest son of Tiv. Now, the children of Ichongu. The children of Ichongu include Ugondu, Turan, Ihariv, Nonguv, and Massive. According to oral history, Massive is said not to have been the son of Ichongu. From my oral interview with an Ihariv man from Utiondu, Honorable Justice Augustine Paul Bokom Utaha, retired, he said, by tradition he, Massive, was a sojourner whom the children of Ichongu, while we settled at Nkomu, now in Turan, we found this man. We brought him to live with us. We might well have sold him into slavery, but we found him to be very helpful. He lived with us. They used to call him Massive of Nkomu. Other written genealogies I have researched never made mention of Massive being a sojourner, though if it was true that Massive was a sojourner, as Justice Utaha said, Ichongu accepted him as a child and never showed any differentiation. This further proves the quality hospitality of a Tiv person. Ikpa and Iha Awange. Genealogies like that of Prince Tili, Tiv Genealogy, says Awange was a child of Ichongu. Justice Utaha, on the authority of Gondu Alo, the second to Tiv, however, said there was no person known as Awange. No person existed as Awange. Now this is the history. Iha and Ikpa were friends. They used to go about together. They resided around Ngoko. One day, Ikpa went down to a blacksmith in Odan. That man made him 2 beautiful spears. When he came home with the 2 spears, Iha asked Ikpa to give him one of it. Ikpa said, "No, if you want, I will take you to the same blacksmith to make 2 for you." Iha said, "Okay, take me there." So Ikpa took him again to the blacksmith, who made 2 more spears for Iha.